Welcome to Booked All Night, the podcast for book nerds and storytellers who just don't sleep. I'm your host, Jessica Mary, and I'm joined weekly by Leigh and Magdalyn Ann as we geek out over books and the craft of writing them. This week, we're discussing chapters 1 through 10 of Alicia Jasinska's This Fatal Kiss. This Fatal Kiss publishes September 10th, 2024, and we are recording way back at the end of June, so you guys won't get to hear it for a while. All right, my little Libernauts, buckle up, settle in, and let's launch into This Fatal Kiss. Okay, discussion time. Alright. So immediately from Gisela and Kajik, right? Because there's like a whole pronunciation guide at the beginning.
Kajik and Kajik, yeah. And Gisela. Gisela,
like more emphasis on the G, a soft G. So
soft G, yeah.
So almost like a French Gisela.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close to that.
So Gisela and Kajik, their immediate interaction, I'm like, oh, enemies to lovers. Like the chemist, if you don't, I immediately have shipped it, and I will play Maggie and write fan fiction, and these two will be together, and that's the end of that. That just came off so strong, but
so strong.
I want to start by talking about Wojciech, actually, the water goblin, and his collection of souls in overturned teacups.
That's the life I want to lead. I want souls in overturned teacups. That is my life's goal.
Wojciech gives me such Labyrinth, Goblin King meets like not quite Mad Hatter, but something similar,
like Ursula.
Goblin. Yeah, like Ursula kind of vibes. It's spooky, and he's definitely got a lot of shit hidden under his sleeves or his teacups, I guess. And I'm just immediately distrustful of him.
Yes. I wonder how he's going to play out with those souls, right? Because we know that the Wusauki and the Drowners, there is a word for the Drowners, I can't pronounce it, but it was the females who die a horrible drowning death in or near the water turn into the water nymphs, which are the Wusauki, and the men turn into drowners. And then they spend their afterlife. Yeah, then they spend their afterlife just drowning people, like you do. But my question is, because now they are undead, are their souls in those teacups?
Oh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought of that.
That's what I was thinking. Because, I mean, I was thinking because, you said Gisela?
Gisela, yeah.
Gisela. So, Gisela wants to not be dead. And you're talking about these girls who have died, and you're like, oh, well, if all the souls go to heaven and hell in this book, like, where are their souls? And then it hit me. I was like, is it the teacups? It's gotta be the teacups.
And he's got a lot, and it like references throughout this whole section that all of the nymphs and all of the drowners constantly lure townspeople and tourists, right? Because Lesnovoda is a spa town, and so they see a lot of tourists, and so they just lure a bunch of people to their watery death. And some of them become Wusauki, like Tamara or Tamara. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that name either. Who is the girl that Gisela shows around in the first chapter, which is how we get to see and learn about the world a little, which I didn't personally love because it's got that whole, as you well know, kind of quality to it. But like, what is he doing with all these souls? Like, is he just collecting them? Because that's kind of weird.
I mean, you can't have a tea party with them.
You can't.